and then he put in the dog. What I want you to do is I want you to sit anywhere that you want to in here. This is always quite interesting. So if you want to sit in the judge's seat, you can. If you want to sit in the jury box, you can. Or you want to sit in any seat, you can. Alright, I'll go for the anybody want to sit in legal business dog? Stacey and I always like to see when everybody sits.
You just missed it.
What happened?
You just missed it.
No, I felt
You right? Yeah. What did you feel?
hatred.
Okay.
Hatred.
Anything else?
Oh my God, it feels like myself.
Sit, have a seat. Have a seat. Okay, can I just say what you've seen there is a reaction that's happened on several occasions. Because we ask people to sit in this courtroom, and invariably it's a woman that will sit in the judge's seat. Women find it very, very awkward up there. A lot of women, even maybe not as dramatic, not as severe an incident as this, but a lot of women will tell us that they feel something is very angry, something is very hateful. You said hateful? Hatred?
Hatred, yeah.
They tell us that there's something that doesn't want them to be there. We think the reason for that is because one of our judges in the early... You haven't seen anything by any chance? No?
No, I feel everything.
Okay. One of the judges in the early 1900s was a man called John Demetrius Morris. So John Demetrius Morris was a misogynist. He didn't like women very much, and he didn't value women, and he didn't believe that women should be in any part of seat power. The what?
They don't want to see it.
No. So Sir John Demetrius Morris had a heart attack in that chair and died. So there has been occasions when women have also seen dark shadows going up in there into the box while they've been sitting there. And it's not only women. I have had a young guy sitting up there as well, him and his girlfriend were on the tour, and while he was sitting there he felt a sense of heaviness. He felt like he was being pushed down in the seat, and he was very, very uncomfortable. He also said that he had a vision in his mind. He kept having this face was appearing in front of him all the time. And back in those days we had a photograph of Sir John Demetrius Morris which I would show to the group at the end of it. And when I showed this guy the picture of Sir John Demetrius Morris, he was quite agitated, and he said, "That is the face that I saw." What's remarkable that his girlfriend, who was sitting in the jury box, afterwards, when she saw the photograph, she said, "Oh my God, that looks like you." And it did. When you looked at the two of them together, he had the same pair of sort of Harry Potter style glasses on, the same look. The picture of Sir John Demetrius Morris could have easily been his father. Other interesting places around here. Nobody sat in this seat. Was anybody going to sit in this seat? Did anybody choose not to sit in that seat?
I've never had that trouble sitting here.
This is an interesting one. One of my most profound experiences were here. I had a husband and wife come on, they were from Victoria. He was probably about 45, 50, very stocky man, very, very well built. He was obviously a construction worker or something like that, or a labourer, very, very stocky man. He didn't really want to be here. He didn't really want the ghost tour. He wasn't into that sort of thing, but he was into the history side, so he's quite happy to listen to the history. His wife apparently dragged him along. He you know, she wanted to do it, so she dragged him along. So he was sitting there. I've got a list of names here of all of the people who were hanged on this site, which I'll read out in a minute. I came to the name of one of these people, which is Arthur Cooley. When I mentioned Arthur Cooley, his chair flung back and he stood up and he started shaking quite violently. He was really shaking. I was quite scared. I thought maybe he was having an epileptic fit or some sort of seizure. So I went over to him. His wife was sitting in the jury box. She came running out and we both got him to calm down. He slumped into his seat. Afterwards, he then told us that when Arthur Cooley's name was read out, he suddenly felt something really cold behind him. He said it was like as though somebody had just put an ice curtain behind him. He started to shake, and when he stood up, he decided to stand up to try and stop himself from shaking, but that only made it worse, so he then started to lose control. Once he calmed down, he was fine. He did the rest of the tour with no problems at all, but later on he told us that his surname was Cooley. So he was going to go back to Victoria to see whether there's any connection between him and Arthur Cooley. Hopefully not, because Arthur Cooley was a sex offender and was well known for raping and molesting women around Hobart. So, and he was hanged for that crime as well. But that was quite interesting. The jury box has had a bit of activity as well, so a lot of people feel uncomfortable